My research focuses on motivation, and prior literature has already outlined a lot of factors that will influence people's motivation. But most of the research we look at, they approach these factors with a snapshot view. So what I'm aiming to add to the literature is to look at these factors from a more dynamic perspective. So what do I mean when I say dynamic? I'm looking at the impact of a factor on your donor's motivation and how that changes throughout time as we accumulate more and more progress in our campaign. So this little yellow flag is our campaign goal. That might be the money you're trying to accumulate in a year or the volunteer hours you're trying to get in a year. In some situations, we may find ourselves here. We just started a campaign, we have made very little progress, very little donations, and we'll have a long way to go. In other situations, we may find ourselves here. We have been working on the campaign for a few months now, we got a lot of money, we just need that final push to finally get to our goal. And because the donors may have very different concerns about our campaign when we are here than when we are here, the same factor can have a completely different impact on their motivation. So why is this important to consider? Because what I'm essentially proposing here is that the same factor, the same campaign later we send out, the same website information we design could be motivating when we are here, but demotivating when we are in the advanced stage. So specifically, today I'm going to go through 3 field experiments that look in 3 different projects that look at various factors that would change the impact from stage to stage. Okay. Specifically, in the first project, we're going to look at velocity feedback. As marketers, how should we provide velocity information to our donors? Should we tell them that we're getting the money very, very fast or very slowly? Which information works better in which stage? So the first field experiment, we're going to talk about feedback. The second one, we're going to go to the psychology part of the story and talk about how the donors may perceive the information we provide them. And lastly, I'm going to talk about how we should structure the goal from stage to stage to keep a high level of motivation as we go. And I'm also listing a lot of other factors that we have found so far that would change its impact from stage to stage, just to throw it out there so that if there's something especially interests you or is especially relevant to the campaign you are working on, I would love to talk further about it throughout the conference. What all of these factors have in common is that it all based on the same assumption that the donors may have different concerns about the campaign when we are in the early stage versus when we are in the advanced stage. So what kind of concerns would they have, or what kind of things would they think about when they evaluate our campaigns? Based on prior literature and what ALET has produced so far, we know that there are 2 things that would mainly concern them. First one is commitment. If they don't feel committed to the campaign or to a cause, they will not donate. And since nobody wants to commit to something that is impossible to attain, we know that goal attainability should be very important to decide that commitment. The second thing people will question is discrepancy reduction. What it essentially means is that they will think about where we are in our campaign and what's our campaign goal, and this remaining gap will drive their effort. So they will put in the effort or donate money considering how big this gap is. What I'm adding to this framework is to propose that depending on where we are, the major concern the donors will have would differ. When we first start the campaign, since we're so far away, the first factor should matter more. People will be questioning, can this campaign even succeed? Should I even spend time considering this opportunity to donate? So goal attainability will drive their motivation. But once we have made a lot of progress and we're getting close to the campaign goal, of course they know we can reach our goal. We are getting so close. So the first factor will not matter as much, and they will switch the focus on the second thing. How long will it take for us to close this gap? And it is this remaining gap that would drive their motivation. And because of this switch from early on worrying about goal attainability to later on worrying about this gap, the same factor will have a completely different impact on their motivation. So the first one, I want to talk about how velocity feedback can change its impact because of this shift of concern. So when I'm talking about velocity feedback, I'm talking about how we should provide that information to donors, basically telling them that we are getting donations very fast or very slowly. So based on this framework, if at first people are worried about whether we can even attain the goal, we should tell them that we are the rabbits. We're a campaign that is getting donations very fast because what that signals to them is that the goal attainability is very high. Even though we're just beginning this campaign, but we have a very high chance of achieving our goal because look at it, we're running very fast right now, getting donations every day. But once we reach this advanced stage and they're no longer concerned about goal attainability, they are more driven by this, how big this gap is, we should do the opposite. We should tell them we're the turtle. So even though we have reached the advanced stage of our campaign, we are getting close, but we're not getting donations very fast. We're getting them slowly. Because what that signals to them is that we still need your effort. We need you to help us close this gap. There's the urgency of contribution here. So to test this hypothesis that the rabbits will work better early on, but the turtles will work better later on, we run a field experiment with the Relief Nursery of Central Texas. It's a nonprofit organization that works on the child abuse prevention program. So together we designed campaign letters to give out to people, and we changed the information in the campaign letter to test our hypothesis. So all of the letters have the same goal. We want to get 1,200 volunteer hours for the next 6 to 9 months so that we can help them implement this program into different families. So that serves as the yellow flag. That's our goal. We change the information in the campaign letter, first of all changing whether we are in the early stage of this goal or we are in the advanced stage where they have a lot of hours. We also change whether we are the rabbit or we are the turtle. Specifically, this is what we tell them. We tell them either that we're 800 hours away from reaching our campaign goal, basically telling you that we're in a very, very early stage, or we're 200 hours away, so we're in the advanced stage. Also, we tell them that we are either getting 10 hours signed up every week, which is very slow for the organization of this size, or we are getting 10 hours signed up every day, which is very fast. So early stage, we have fast and slow, and advanced stage, we also have fast and slow. And we want to see what works better. So what we measure is we measure the percentage of people who actually signed up to help this organization, and also the hours they're willing to commit to. And this is what we found. So when we tell people that we're in the early stage, what we found is that knowing that we are the rabbits and we're getting the hours signed up very fast, signal to them that we can definitely succeed at this campaign goal and more people are willing to volunteer in that situation. But if we tell them that we are already in the advanced stage and we're getting close to a campaign goal, the turtle works better. Telling them that we're getting the hours signed up slowly highlights that we still need your help and more people signed up in that situation than knowing that we are the rabbit. And we see the same pattern when we look at the hours people actually put down to commit to volunteering. And together we generated more than 800 volunteer hours for the Relief Nursery of Central Texas to use in their following campaigns. So far I talked about the feedback we give people. Now I want to kind of turn to the other side and look at the psychology part of the story. How do donors actually perceive information we give them? Specifically, how do they view the progress level we have made so far? Based on the same framework, I've hypothesized that there will be some kind of distortion there. Specifically, if we just start the campaign, we're so far away. For the donors who really care about the campaign or the cause, they might actually exaggerate the progress we have made so far. Because by exaggerating the progress, they're telling themselves that yes, the campaign can succeed, look at how much we have done so far, and that will actually motivate themselves to contribute instead of giving up. But the opposite will happen if we are already in the advanced stage, in the sense that the donors may downplay the progress we have made so far to exaggerate this gap, to tell themselves that, well, they still need my help, so I'm going to give them the money today. Of course, that doesn't work for everybody. We are talking about the people who already value the goal. So the donors who might already sign up for your email list, who care about the cause a lot, this is what they might do in their head when they see your campaign later. They may exaggerate the progress or downplay the progress, depending on the stage we are in, just so that to motivate themselves to contribute. So to test this, we run a t-shirt donation drive. In the t-shirt donation drive, we set a goal. We want to collect 1,000 t-shirts to donate. So it's a very specific goal. And once again, we give out different information. The first factor is how valuable this goal is, and the second will be which stage we're in right now. To manipulate the goal value, we basically tell them there are different causes we are working on right now. So for some of them, they read that we're donating to the poor people in Honduras. For other participants, we told them we are donating the t-shirts to the refugees in Haiti. And we ran this study 4 weeks after the earthquake just happened in Haiti. So at that time, this cause is very, very important. And this is a situation we expect people to distort information in their head to make themselves donate. We also want to change which stage we are in the campaign. So we do this by providing different pictures. In the initial stage condition, we show them this picture and told them these are the t-shirts we have so far. So if you remember, our goal is 1,000 t-shirts. So these two little boxes basically tell them that we are in the very, very early stage. And goal attainability could be a concern. We may not actually reach our campaign goal. For the advanced stage, this is the picture we show them. So we have 10 full boxes of t-shirts. You can tell that we have made a lot of progress on our campaign. But of course, we told them that we are not 1,000 yet, so we still need donation. But apparently, goal attainability should not be a big concern. So this is a situation they will be more motivated by the gap. What we expect to find is that in this early stage, the people who care about the campaign will exaggerate how much progress we have made, basically exaggerating how many t-shirts they are. But here, they may downplay the number of t-shirts in these boxes so that to make their help more significant and make it more urgent for them to contribute. So to measure this, basically we ask them, how many t-shirts do you think you saw earlier in the pictures? So people put down numbers, like 354 t-shirts, just their guess. So this allows us to capture what they are really seeing in their brain. We of course also ask them what you're concerned about right now to test our theory. And the most important thing is we also ask them to donate. So we set up a donation location and people actually bringing their t-shirts to donate. And we count how many each person bringing as an indicator of their motivation to help us reach our goal. I also included a control group in this study. Basically, the people in the control group don't know about any campaign. They just look at the pictures like you just saw and try to estimate as accurately as possible how many t-shirts there are in the picture. And I just use their number as a comparison to know that the people in the campaign condition, whether they exaggerate or downplay the progress we have made so far. So this is what we found. Just to remind you, initial stage, this is what they saw. Advanced stage, this is what they saw. And the white bar is the Haiti condition where the people really care about the cause and they want to help. So we found that if they saw a picture of the early stage, the people in the Haiti condition estimated or reported seeing more t-shirts in this picture than the control and Honduras condition. But in the advanced stage, we saw the opposite. The people in the Haiti condition actually downplayed and estimated a lower number of t-shirts than control and Honduras condition. So they exaggerate our progress early on, but downplay the progress later on. And by doing that, they motivate themselves to bring more t-shirts to our donation site. So in this study, we found that how people perceive the progress level can actually change from stage to stage. Lastly, I want to talk about how we can structure the goal to further enhance people's motivation in different stages. Specifically, should we give people multiple opportunities to donate or just one opportunity? And again, the answer is not easy. The answer is depending on the stage you are in. So based on the same framework, if at first people will be worried about goal attainability, then we should probably tell them there are multiple times they can donate, multiple locations, multiple ways they can donate. Because by providing multiple methods, we're basically telling them that it is easy to contribute. So we confirm goal attainability for them. But if we are already at advanced stage and goal attainability is not a concern, then we should do a different thing. We should actually give them only one way to do so, because that simplifies the process and that highlights that there is one gap you want to close and there's one way to do it so they can focus and help us speed to the end instead of giving them a decision to make. So to test this, we ran another field experiment. This time we don't ask for people's time or money, we ask for their blood. So we work with the Blood Center of Central Texas, and together we ran a blood donation drive in Austin, Texas. And this is a campaign letter we gave out to motivate people to donate. This time we set the campaign goal of 100 pints of blood. This is what we are trying to collect for the hospitals in town. Again, we want to change the information in the campaign later, so we told them either we are in the early stage of this campaign or a later stage. And also whether there are multiple ways for them to donate or just one way to do so. To change the stage, we simply change the number we report. Either we have 0 pints right now, so we are very far away from our campaign goal, or we have 80 pints of blood already, so we're getting very, very close. To manipulate the number of ways to donate, this is what we told them. For a single way condition, we told them the campaign is 1 day only. You have only 1 day to do so, and the campaign will be from 9 to 5. So people are under the impression that there's one way to donate blood. If they miss this opportunity, they can't help. For the multiple ways condition, we told them there are 3 shifts, 9 to 12, 12 to 2, and 2 to 5. So you can see that we are tricking them because it's actually the same campaign. The time duration is exactly the same. But when people read it, they know that there are multiple ways to do it, and therefore that will enhance their belief of goal attainability. And we want to see which combination is more effective. So we measure the percentage of people who sign up to donate blood. And also, because a lot of people may not be eligible to donate blood themselves, we give them contact cards they can give to their friends or relatives to help promote our campaign. And of course, the more cards they give out, that shows that more motivated they are to help us achieve the campaign goal. And this is what we found. If you tell people we are just starting a campaign and we are very far away, multiple ways works better. The fact that they know there are multiple time slots to do that somehow tells them that the goal will highly succeed, and they will be willing to contribute that way. But if we are already in the advanced stage, single way works better. That allows them or reminds them to grab the opportunity to help us finally close the gap. And that sense of urgency motivates them. We see the same pattern when we look at the contact cards that people are willing to give out to help us promote the campaign. So in summary, what we found so far is that a lot of factors would change its impact from stage to stage. And therefore, it is important for philanthropy organizations or even for-profit companies to know exactly which stage we are in right now, what type of concerns the donors may have for us, and then tailor our communication or marketing strategy accordingly to make sure we maximize the motivation at that stage. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if there are questions.
So have you done any work in campaigns where you're using threshold goods so that, you know, if you reach, unless you reach a certain point, then either it's kind of all or nothing. It seems that what you've done there is really continuous. So that you give something, you'd like to reach this goal, but we don't, we still have this. Have you done any,
I see. So for example, in the t-shirt donation drive, that's exactly what we did. So we told them that if we don't reach 1,000 t-shirts, nothing gets shipped abroad because we have this contract with overseas companies. So yeah, we did do that. And what we found so far is that specific goals like that work really well in the sense that as you accumulate more and more progress, the motivation really heightens because it's 0 or all. So people really get involved in that situation. Yes?
Concerned, the last experiment answers it, but in the other experiments, there's a lot of things happening when you say it's evidence of goal attainability. It's also evidence that others want to give to this and you want to be like others. It's also evidence that perhaps they've investigated more and found the charity worthy. So there's many things going on at once.
So you mean that there could be social norm, for example, if we tell them that the sign-up rate is high, for example.
If they see a lot of people are giving, they say, oh, it's the right thing to do to give, because everyone else is doing it rather than it's more attainable.
It's definitely plausible just from the field data. We also run, to test the theory, also run it in the lab or also in the individual context. For example, you're trying to lose weight and then you know you're losing weight faster than others or slower than others. So the individual studies, we were able to tease that out and say that it's really the perceived velocity that's changing the motivation and not the social norm. But definitely in the collective goal context, it is messier. It has more noise and interpretations for the data.